Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Sims 3 speed build. Today we are again working in Aluna Island. There at the beginning I was just showing, I thought I'd leave that in, showing you that you will have to add a lot to this area. There's not a lot sitting here, but I just felt it'd be a great place to put another beach lot. So I put a 10 by 15 or 15 by 10 or whatever the dimensions are into this area, and created a little beach house. So I ended up getting the name. I'm really bad with names. If you haven't noticed, the names on my speed builds and lots and stuff, sometimes I have no idea what I'm going to call them before I even start, and sometimes I still don't even after they've been created. I'm really bad with names. Sometimes I just pick a name, a female name normally is what I choose. That's normally what happens when I get done doing the entire speed build and I still don't have a name for it at all. So, but this one I end up naming it kind of off of the location and the flowers and stuff that I use. We end up using a lot of sunflowers and it was on a beach, so that's kind of how I came up with the name. So, but anyway, again, just trying to make this house kind of go with the whole island theme with the, I guess that's a thatched roof or whatever, or something, or whatever you want to call it. And I believe I use, now I can't remember what colors I use in this house. But the bright oceany type of colors and is what I end up using. So, but just trying to figure out what I want to do with this porch roof here. If anybody who's really worked with trying to do covered porches in this game, it's not always the easiest to get them to look, correct the way they're supposed to look. But I think we came out pretty good. I am happy with the way the roof there turned out. So, the dormers, however, on this house do not stay. I like dormers, but sometimes you just can't find a window to work, so those do get removed. Just going through here right now, just blacking out everything that the Sims cannot go. That way, just kind of redirects your eyes to the areas that they can go. I like doing that. I'm not really too sure why. I've been doing it that way for, oh my gosh, for so long. I don't even know if I've seen it somewhere or if I happen to do it one time. I don't even know where I got that from. But I have noticed there's actually quite a few other simmers that also, they black out the areas too. So I don't know, I'm not sure where I got that from. But anyway, just trying to work on this house and trying find out what windows and everything that I want. I always struggle with windows, but in this house it was actually pretty easy. They just seemed to come to me. I kind of knew what I wanted. That doesn't happen normally too often. So I normally spend a lot of time on windows, probably a lot more than I should. But like I said, this one just they seem to place pretty good, pretty easily. So just going through and recoloring them. So I'm just trying to get them all facing the right direction with the white on the outside. So I do really like the way the front of the house ended up turning out. The big window in the front by the staircase, I really like, that look, having it, it just looks so fancy. I like doing that, having those two windows stacked on top of each other. I just think it looks so fancy that way, and whenever I can do that, I like to do that. So, it's a very compact house. This is definitely not a very big house. It's kind of pricey actually for such a small house. It comes out to being about 52,000 simoleons. So it's a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom. So this is not a house I had intended to be for a starter home. So but anyway, but it has pretty much everything. It's definitely compact, and you'll see when we're doing the interior. Now the upstairs isn't so bad. The bedrooms and stuff ain't quite as bad as the downstairs, but You'll see when we go do the downstairs that everything is pretty compact. It has been tested. Everything does work. There was a few items I had used in this house that I've never used before, like this little, that itty bitty little TV. I'm not sure if you know which one I'm talking about, but I have seen it in there, but I don't normally use it. Usually when I use a wall TV, I just choose the biggest one I can possibly find. But in this case, I didn't have a whole lot of room to work with, and the large screen TV just was not working. Wasn't gonna work for this house. So it's a really small wall TV is what I end up using. So I tried making it look as much of beachy type of plants as I could. I don't live on a beach, so I really have no idea what plants you would even find, to be honest, exactly. So I tried to go with ones that I would think, would work. I know you obviously wouldn't have a whole lot of plants, which to me seems a little odd, because it seems to me like a sand would be really great dirt for plants to grow. I don't know, but I just figured, obviously these plants would be ones that the owners added later and probably take a lot of time in taking care of, and making sure they're watered and things like that. So that, that's kind of my story behind all the plants. But just going through and getting everything taken care of. Like I said, everything does work. They can even the back staircase, if you're wondering, that does work. I tested pretty much everything. So just going through and doing the train paint. I was having some difficulties getting the darker dirt color to show up in some areas, so you'll see I kind of go over it quite a bit more. Just trying to decide what I wanted to do exactly. Just kind of make it look, like there's little areas that are a little bit more wet from, maybe the tide or watering the plants and things like that. So oh, and for some reason the ground does glitch a little bit, as you can see there in the bottom, that little bit of green in the sand. There's not really much I could really do about it. I didn't try leveling it out or anything like that, but it appears after you place your 10 by 15. That's when it shows up. So it wasn't after I built the house, it was actually when I put the lot itself in. So every time I put a lot on this area, that always kept showing up. So I'm going to assume there's not really a whole lot that you can do about it. So here's where we're going to work a little bit on the interior. As you can see, I struggled a little bit trying to figure out how are we going to do this, because if you notice, there's really not a whole lot of space, and we fit a kitchen, a dining, and a living space and bookshelves and everything all in this one small itty bitty little space. So I was pretty happy that it turned out. I don't normally try doing houses that are quite this compact in The Sims 3, because some of the items are definitely very difficult to make sure that they work. So this is probably getting about to my extent on making small spaces. I did a small space in this one, and one in what was it, Willow Heights or something, or was that, I can't quite remember what it was called now. I think that's what it was called. I'm probably wrong on that, but anyway, those are pretty much the extent of what I do on space and things like that. So just trying to go through and get a little bit of get the walls and stuff in. I wanted, again, something that would kind of maybe bring out a little bit of the beach themes, like the really nice, those bright green colors and the bright blues and things like that. So, and I wanted to kind of do green, because the staircase, when I put it down, had that nice, like, I don't know what kind of green really it is, kind of a pistachio green, I guess, or something. So I made the kitchen area kind of match that wall, so that way they would kind of flow nice together. Like I said, everything does work, including the staircase. Even though you see that I am putting stuff back there, the staircase still works. Everything in the house, like I said, does. I did test it, so I'm pretty sure usually putting just about anything underneath these staircases, they usually pretty much still work. So I'm just moving them around. I'm just rather picky, wanted to make sure you know, they looked even. I didn't want them to be off center somehow, or I don't know. I'm very picky about that, having everything, you know, as even and stuff as I possibly can. So but just going through and doing a little bookcase. What I was wanting, because like I said, we're really tight on space here, so basically I created this area that would be kind of like a bookshelf and end table all in one. Instead of trying to do like a bookshelf and a separate end table along with a chair, I thought I would create something that looked like it would be combined all in one. So that's what we ended up doing. And as you can see right there's that little TV right by the table. Like I said, I had never used it before. I think it was used in one of the really little starter homes that comes with this island, but it wasn't blocked by, I don't think anyway, I never used that lot, but I don't think it's blocked by a table or anything. So I really wasn't too sure, you know, if the Sims really could use it, since I'd never used it before and I'm unfamiliar with it, but it does work. So like I said, this is just kind of like a little area that was supposed to be like a, you know, your like a coffee table, and you got your bookshelf. The bookshelf does work. I use bookshelves quite often with shelves interlocking into them, and they do still work, so you won't have to worry about that. I'm very confident that those will work. And of course, you know, you have to have your little shoes for when you first walk in. You have to have a place for your shoes, and there's your little chair to go with the end table that we created, and of course your bookshelf. So a small little space that combines many different options for your Sims to do. So just going through and doing curtains. I really like these curtains because of the fact that they're separate. You can do one side or the other. I just like them, and sometimes, as you can see, I put them over a door. The doors do still work. The curtains might glitch a little bit, but they do still work. And when I was doing this, since I wasn't really too sure 100% on that TV exactly on what the Sims could and couldn't do, that's why I put this chair here. I felt that it looked, you know, it went well with the area, kind of took up some of the space. So, but that's kind of the purpose of originally of putting that chair in, was just so your Sims would have a place to sit while they were watching TV and a place to relax. And so as you can see, there's definitely plenty of seating for this itty bitty little house, so that you can definitely, you know, invite a few friends over and have a place for everybody to sit. So, and then here's the bathroom. Now that sink, I believe, is the Worthington sink. It is from the store, so I apologize if you don't have it. I used it because of the fact that you can stick it in the corner like this. I don't know how many people have this sink, but this, I just love this sink. I use it so much in my, you know, some of my games and stuff, my personal games. It only glitches through the wall just a itty bitty tiny bit on the outside, but I managed to get that pretty well covered up so you don't really see it. But it is very workable like this. The toilet and the sink does work. I made sure I tested that. But I love how you can stick this in the corner like that. It just looks so, I don't know, I really love how, you know, you can stick it in the corner and it still looks, you know, like it's supposed to. I mean, great for small spaces. I love using that sink. But anyway, just going through and trying to do my normal clutter that I normally do in the bathroom. If you watch my speed builds quite often, you'll know that I do like to do a lot of clutter as much as I can. I just feel that it helps make it look more lived in and more warm and cozy, and I love that feel in a house. I love walking into a house and it feels so warm and welcoming. So that's normally the type of houses that I do create. This is just kind of another one of those little sitting areas. It was a decent sized landing area, so I thought we would put, you know, a bookshelf and some chairs. So just kind of a small space. So in going through and, you know, trying to figure out what we want to do for the wall, I didn't really want to do exactly the same thing as we did downstairs. I did kind of want to, you know, maybe spice it up a little bit with something else. So we chose a different shade of green. Well, maybe I guess we didn't go with green. Normally I pick green with that wallpaper. I'm not sure what I did. Apparently I decided I wasn't going to go with green. Normally when I pick that border, I normally pick the green with it, but I guess I didn't this time, did I? So, I'm just going through and adding as much stuff as I can. There's still plenty more clutter in this small little space to come. So, and then here, these trees or bushes or plants or whatever you want to call them, those are actually free from the store. So, and I definitely, like I said, made sure I tested the staircase, because there was one time, actually it was in my split level house I had created, the Cozy Cove split level, and even though this shelf that I had that was, considered on a different floor from them staircases, and it was all the way up at the top, like really high up, it somehow blocks the stairs, and the stairs couldn't be used. You have no idea how long it took me to figure that one out. I could not figure it out, because the stairs worked and then all of a sudden they didn't work, so I had no idea what was going on. But I made sure I tested those stairs, because of the fact that I did put those bushes right next to the top of them stairs and stuff like that. I just wanted to make sure that they didn't glitch out or no longer work like the stairs did in that other build that I had created a long time ago. So but anyway, they do work. So, just a little info for when you're building and stuff. You can put plants there, fill up them spaces, those little corners. Don't have to leave them bare. You can put a couple of plants there and they should still work. So that's nice to know. And just this is the kids' room. I enjoy doing kids' rooms. My teen bedrooms tend to look more like kind of like a guest bedroom. Is usually how my teen rooms tend to look. But kids rooms, I like doing kids rooms. All the colors and the toys and everything like that. I enjoy doing those. So just doing, a little bit of different things with the pictures. I hate always having the same pictures all the time, but rearranging them in a different shape like that just seems to, be a little bit nicer to the eye. So I like to do that quite often. Just kind of take the pictures and just kind of move them in a different, different way than normal. So that's pretty much, I think, it for the interior. We're just doing a little bit of the exterior furniture. I don't normally add a whole lot to exterior, as you probably know. That's just not my thing. So I'm just going through and just checking. I made sure I put a little boat dock there, because part of the water is part of your lot. As you can see, right there's where that sink was coming through, just a tad bit. So I was going through and trying to find what can I put in here to kind of cover it up, because I really love that sink idea. So the sunflowers definitely helped. I'm not going to say it's completely covered, but it definitely redirects your eye to somewhere else and you don't really notice it while you're playing. And then I was looking, I've never used the gutters before, so it took me actually quite a long time to find them. So I actually put some gutters on this house, the downspouts. I actually had to look those up. I had no idea where they were. I knew they were there, but I had no idea where, and I had to actually look them up to find them. So I made sure I put a few of them here and there. That way one downspout on the house didn't look kind of odd. Like why would that be there kind of thing. So I made sure I added a few more throughout the house just so it looked like it was supposed to be there. And of course, exterior lighting. I always, at least I try anyway, to always have exterior lighting. When I first got the game, I remember I had gotten actually the late night 3-pack, and I had noticed right away that how no house or town had any exterior lighting, and I could hardly see my sim. I absolutely hated that, and ever since then I always make sure I add exterior lights to all my builds, so that way we can at least see our sims when they're outside. So as you can see, we're in the screenshot, so the video is about done. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Have a wonderful day. Bye.